Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you can see on your screen, Minister Auburn Hill. He is the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Senator, the Honorable Auburn Hill. Now, I don't know this man. This is nothing personal, but I am here to speak about some very interesting, things that his shadow minister had to say. I want to be very, very quick about it. Shadow Minister of the Ministry of Investment in Jamaica.
Here is information from Wikipedia.
Anthony Hylton. Yes, Anthony Hylton is his name. That's what we're here to talk about. Mr. Anthony Hylton. Alright, let's see if we see anything on the official website. Global Logistics Business Minister Hylton. This is what, the 15th. Anyway, we're here to talk about what Mr. Anthony Hylton had to say about the Senator, the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Audio that I'll be listening from is from CBN TV. No. My title is Shockwaves after Anthony Hylton exposed one key. I put reasons, Lord of mercy, I'm going to change that, for the economic recession. Now, for those that don't know, Jamaica is in an economic recession, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Jamaica is in an economic recession. So without any further ado, what I want to do is to play the audio of Senator Hylton. Because the reason why I'm doing this is because OBS was messing around with me. So I had to use my phone to get this content out right now. As soon as I put up this live stream, I know I see nobody's getting notifications because, yeah, for whatever reason, nobody's getting the notifications. Okay. Anywho, we're going to go around that. Now, I'm going to play the audio of Mr. Hylton having this sit down with the CVM TV host. I'm not what you would consider a guru, but for our economy to be doing well, I would think that the Ministry of Industry and Investment and Commerce needs to be doing something right. So let us hear the arguments of Mr. Anthony Hylton, and I'll come back. Let's go. Listen to this.
Welcome back to Lead Story on this Friday. Straight to it now. The opposition spokesman on industry, investment and commerce is also the Member of Parliament for Western St. Andrew, G. Anthony Hylton. The G is for George. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the program. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Stephen. Good evening, and welcome to your listeners as well.
Excellent.
Happy New Year, Steve.
Good. Mr. Hylton, what are Jamaicans to take from what you've said about Auburn Hill's stewardship, his management of business affairs in this very important Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce?
First of all, I'd want Jamaicans to understand this is not anything personal. I know the minister well, and so far as I know, he's a good person, and times he may describe me as a friend, and likewise him. But my role as opposition spokesman is to critique the ministry and its performance. And I have to look at the data and to look at what I have seen over a period of time. As you will see, I have not been one to be criticized in every twist and turn. I've looked at the long picture and what has evolved over a period of time. Minister Hill has been there since 2021, some period.
So already he has established that what he is critiquing today is not personal. He's just looking at policy and performance and looking at the data in regards to money spent and what has yielded from it. So let's continue. Here in Mr. Anthony Hylton, guys. Like I said, I wanted to do this from my computer, but my computer is under attack. As soon as I started to use OBS, that was the end of it. That was the absolute end of it. My stream was not even starting. All right. So let's get it.
21 some period, and has had the opportunity to really perform and to deliver something. And when you examine the data, it is lacking, and therefore I have to call it as I see it. And the fact is that the numbers, the economic numbers, really, while he's not responsible for the entire economy, he's interested, he's very responsible for an important segment of that economy, and as he calls it, the business ministry, which is key to economic growth in the ministry. You're talking about investment, you're talking about industry, and you're talking about trade. These are vital links.
So investment, industry, and trade. He's responsible for investment, industry, and trade. Trading is important to economic growth. Definitely is very important to it. So, hey, let's listen more.
The economy, and if they're not performing, then the economy, you can predict, will not be performing.
And so the central question then...
so he's saying that if those things are not performing, then the economy will not be performing. And this is the reason why I titled the thing the way I titled it. Because, man, you know, yo, what are we doing? That has to have some impact on our economy the way it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Given that we're in a recession. So could this be one of the key factors why we're in a recession? Let's listen more.
Tony Hylton, is this. Are you saying that Auburn Hill is not pursuing the right initiatives, or is there a lack of vision to even craft the right initiatives to pursue?
I would start there. I think there's a lack of vision. I was disturbed and remain disturbed that some of his first acts were to remove heads of key agencies, and there are quite a few. And I wondered, because it's not as if it was a change of administration. It was within his own administration. And my question was, well, you know, what is there an ideological issue? Is there a philosophical question? I doubted it. And these persons, so far as I was observing, a few of whom served under me as minister, were performers. Now, he came to the view somehow that they were not performing, but whomever he replaced them with, they were not performing either, because you can see from the numbers. So,
wow. So what he's saying is that he removed some key people. Could it be possibly he just removed them because those people was working with him? I mean, that's kind of lame if that's the case. You know, but if the people actually perform well, why would you remove them? It should be a performance-based type of vibe, okay? Maybe he's looking at partisan, you know, it being a party or whatever. And that is always a issue here in Jamaica, right? But let's continue.
The question is, what is the vision? What is the approach? What is the... None whatsoever. Yeah. None whatsoever. Yeah. I doubted it.
All right, so I have to play that back because I saw that my phone was reconnecting. I guess the internet has just totally gone to hell. So yeah, even with my phone, I'm having issues. Let's continue. We gotta work through it though.
these persons, so far as I was observing, a few of whom served under me as minister, were performers. No, he came to the view somehow that they were not performing, but whomever he replaced them with, they were not performing either, because you can see from the numbers. So the question is, what is the vision? What is the approach? What is the policy strategy that informs the minister? What are the policies that the minister has put in place? And there has been none that I can recall of that is worthy to discuss on this program.
So I just want to ensure that my viewers are very clear on what you're saying. So again, let me advance from the previous question I asked. Are you saying that it's not a case that the minister is pursuing policies that have been proven not to work? Your problem is that he doesn't appear to be pursuing any policy at all. Am I getting you correctly?
Correct. There's been no clear policy strategy.
Wow. So here, that's a big claim, right? For him to say that he doesn't see him using any clear strategy where policy is concerned. Isn't your policy supposed to be like a guide? You know what I mean? Like, so if that is true, that is concerning. I have to say.
None whatsoever. But all one could see is a number of trips, and I think he needs to answer the number of trips and the cost to the Jamaican people and the return on that investment. Because the number of trips that I know, I mean, I'm on a joint select committee dealing with two key pieces of legislation. The Security Interest in Personal Property Act and the Insolvency Act, long over the review of which are long overdue. And the truth is, we're not able to finish those important pieces of legislation because the minister is hardly in town. So he is constantly out of tone. And my question is, what are you marketing if on the supply side, the economy is not working, it's not going well? So what are you promoting? Are these just jobs, or are you seriously promoting Jamaica's industry?
Wow, these are some key questions. These are issues that the issues that he's raising are very important. So he's saying, bro, so you're going on all of these trips and going overseas and having these meetings. What is the productivity from those trips? What has it cost you to go on those trips? And then, when we look at the productivity of the trips, what is that? What does that equal to? And I think that's actually a very good question. I think that's a fair question. I don't think that is like attacking the man. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about that. Let's continue.
Let me put this to you. You've mentioned 3 times so far in the interview so far that the numbers are not bearing out anything positive on the part of the minister and the ministry under his hand. So I ask you this. If we talk about the trade imbalance and the trade deficit that we are running, the minister did present numbers to indicate that Jamaica has historically run a trade deficit. He said his research showed that only in 1966 did we return a trade surplus. And he's saying that it's not a situation that he created, but that where he is taking the ministry is to move us out of this situation gradually. Are you accepting that argument from him?
No, I'm not, because my next question is, what then are the specific policies and strategies that he can point to that he's undertaking to ensure that happens? The truth is that those policies are not in place. To do this, I mean, it's not enough to exhort businesses, and particularly micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, to export more. The truth is, export is a very arduous and difficult task. And the environment, the ecosystems must be in place to incentivize and to support businesses in engaging in what is a very competitive environment. So I'm not aware of the policy or the strategy being pursued by the minister to achieve that goal.
If we're to agree, Tony Hylton, and you've been minister in this area, so you know this space very.
So acting as a shadow minister of that ministry. His argument is very, very clear. What It's not like this man, Mr. Arbin, is, you know, running for the position. He's already in the position. So isn't it fair? Isn't it fair? Somebody just sent me something. They throwing me off. Lord of mercy. Isn't it fair? Yo, shout out to my subscribers and my supporters, man, and my viewers. Salute to y'all. Y'all hit that like button coming in. All you gotta do is tap the screen like this. Just tap the screen like this.
If we're to agree,
Tap the screen like this to hit the like button, y'all. Like that. But this definitely could be one of the key reasons why our economy is not doing well, ladies and gentlemen. So I want y'all to pay attention to what the man's saying, all right? Let me just catch the phone right there, sir. Yeah, let me catch the phone right there, sir. I'll catch it. Let me see if I can catch it here, sir. Hold on there. All right. I think... Wait a minute. Yeah, we can catch it right there, sir. Alright. Should be... Sure. Let me play the audio.
And commerce is a big idea ministry. People like to see a big idea that will drive much of what the ministry is doing. Are you saying that in the absence of this big idea being pursued, that the small things that the minister has said that he's doing to put the ministry in shape to pursue a big idea, are you saying that the approach is misaligned? Is that what you're saying?
It clearly is misaligned. You have to fix. You have to put the policy and the strategy in place. Fix what needs to be fixed, and to ensure that the supply arrangement, the supply arrangement, whatever it is that you're marketing, whatever products, whatever services that you're marketing, are in fact growing, and there is the supply to meet whatever external demands that you're pushing overseas.
Yeah.
See, this man's argument is simply numbers. What are you putting in and what are we getting out? That is what I'm hearing personally. I'm not hearing a campaign for the next general election. I'm not hearing it. He said he observed, he listened, and looked at Mr. Arbin's ministry from the time when he was in office until now. And yeah, looking at the expenditure, right? It's just the numbers are not adding up to productivity, especially when you look at the fact that we're in a recession. If this industry, if the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce was effectively doing, was working effectively, then I doubt that we would be in a recession, ladies and gentlemen. I really doubt it. But let's continue.
Yeah. Is it overly simplifying the situation, Tony Hylton, to say that, you need to, as minister, show how much you've spent on overseas trips relative to how much economic opportunity has germinated from those trips to prove to the Jamaican taxpayer that you're actually doing your job? Is that an oversimplification of the business of industry, investment and commerce?
No, not at all.
And I agree. I agree that it's not an oversimplification. It's not an oversimplification of it. I agree. It's not. If I say, for instance, I hire you to increase productivity in an area of my industry, and I give you a budget, you have to implement some type of strategy to make sure in the use of that budget we would have uh, an increased level of productivity that would satisfy me to want to use your services again. And if at the end of a certain period of time, there has to be some type of evaluation to say, okay, what is going on? Where are we now? We have spent this amount of money. What have we yielded from it?
The truth is
You know what I'm saying? But listen to the response of the Mr. Anthony Hylton.
that there has to be some, and we're talking about over a span of time. I'm not talking about each trip, although it is important, first of all, for each trip to have a particular goal, a particular objective, so that at the end of the visit you can make an assessment as to, if not the visit, over a period, you can make an assessment as to whether those visits are reaping the getting the goal of meeting the objective.
But you would agree, though, that as you pointed out, the minister being in place since 2021, and you know better than most that when you go on these overseas trips, the links that you'll forge, the relationships that you'll build, sometimes it's what's called the boomerang effect, where it's further down the line that the result,
Yo, this dude is such a kid, bro. I'm sorry, man, but I gotta call a spade a spade. Yo, this man is such an What they call him? He's an apologizer, a JLP apologist. Yo, this dude is a JLP apologist, bro. Every audio that I've listened to this man on, this dude right here on CVM, every audio, every single one. Let me see. Is it better on my screen? Man, bro, I'm talking about every single audio I've seen this dude on. The man is a whole cap. I ain't lying. What do you mean further down the line? Bro, the man had 3 years. What the hell are you talking about? This dude right here, he is such a cap. Oh, man. It's just because the audio is better from my phone why I got to play it like this. You know what I'm saying? But listen to this.
fruits of those relationships being forged actually come to fruition. So again,
So he's saying that the man is gonna take trips that cost millions of dollars or hundred thousands of dollars, right? And it's gonna take time to forge these relationships that he's working on. Well. Wow. In business, I don't know. I would call that a bad investment. If you gotta take several expensive trips, right, to form this industrial relationship that is going to take years to yield a profit, well, years to form no business relationship. If you put forward a proper proposal or an idea, it's all about you selling it, whatever it is that you're selling. You know what I'm saying? And still making it in some type of way for our country to benefit immensely. It's like you're talking about industry, you're talking about trade and investment. Like, bro, I don't just common sense alone, commerce, industry. Come on, man. This don't make no sense what this dude is saying, man.
is it fair and reasonable to hold the minister's feet to the fire in that regard?
yes, it is. And if you look at
So this man is here asking if it's fair, the question that Mr. Anthony Hylton is asking of this man in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The fact that he's asking that question, it bothers me. Because you can do an assessment just by hearing the question that the man is asking of him. He's asking him, well, what profits have we yield, and if any profit, how much compared to what we've spent in any business. That's one of the fairest things you can ask. So I really am perturbed. I am really confused as to why the CVM host, I don't even know his name, but he really is He's giving me PTSD, man. Let's listen to this.
I was minister. Let's compare the records. When we left government, we had close to 800 and something $1 million of investment that was brought into the island at the time. And so I'm just saying, if you look at, if there's a comparison between the performances, and I didn't take nearly half the trips that the minister took because I lead the JAM pro to perform. I left the other ministries to perform, and I work on the policy environment to make sure that they're being supported.
Hear you on that. Let's take the break. Anthony Hylton, hold it right there. The opposition spokesman on industry, investment, and commerce asking.
So, boy, he was so anxious to take that breaky. Boy, the point that he just made about the amount of trips that Mr. Arbin Hill has taken. And I don't know, is he a pastor? And I'm not casting any aspersions on him, but you know, a lot of the pastors in Jamaica, wow, there's a lot left to, you know, I don't know, you know, the way how he speaks in Parliament one time, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm clean, I'm a man of God, and you know, I'm of a certain level of integrity. Well, Mr. Arbin, I am sorry, but anybody that is standing next to Andrew Holness in any government and, you know, is still sticking around after all that has come out, it doesn't look good on your resume, sir. Not in my eyes. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm just speaking for me. Tell me what y'all think about that. You know, anybody that's standing next to Andrew Holness in my eyes is tainted. You're automatically, I'm talking about show me your company, I'll tell you who you are type of vibe. But let's continue.
Asking a serious question. Nope.
The dark side of
Lord.
ADHD in men.
Oh, Lord, the
Waking
dark
up
side.
tired. Task paralysis.
The opposition spokesman on industry, investment, and commerce, Anthony Hylton, says the observations he has made about Arbin Hill's performance as minister is not to be taken as criticism of the minister as an individual. It's more a critique of what the minister.
Listen, I am criticizing the minister. Yeah, Anthony Hylton can play. I'm criticizing you, sir. You. Yes. Yes. If you have played any role in the destruction of this economy as it is right now, we're going to criticize you. What I'm hearing here is a lot of trips and what seems to be not yielding of any great investment, allegedly. So you took way more trips than this man took, Anthony Hylton, and his results are already there. And over some time now, looking at you, he's saying, yo, this don't look right. And this man on the screen, this host on the screen right here is saying, wait a minute, no, he should get some more time. You mean what? 5 more years in office? You're talking about a third term? Man, get the hell out of here, man. Listen, let's play the tape, because when I tell you, yo, Lord have mercy.
As an individual, is more a critique of what the minister has been doing in his time in office. He says there is no clear policy direction. He says there is a glaring absence of a big idea in the ministry. And he says that, look, nobody knows the impact of the minister's numerous overseas trips. He describes them as jaunts, Anthony Hylton. And of course, you know, a jaunt by definition is a trip taken for pleasure purposes. He says that these are effectively jaunts because there's no evidence that nothing has materialized from these trips.
Yo, I'm telling you, you got to have some type of productivity from them trips. That is a fair analysis. If you're not having no productivity, bro, you going on vacation. These are some vacation type vibe, allegedly. You know what I mean?
opposition spokesman has asked several direct questions of Tony Hylton in a statement issued under his hand by Team PNP recently. And among the questions he's asked, he wants a breakdown of taxpayer costs for Auburn Hill's overseas trips and the economic returns from these missions. How much has it cost Jamaican taxpayers for these foreign investment trips?
Yeah, I want to know too, baby. I need to know. I'm gonna need to know. How did y'all spend my money? How did you spend my money? Let me see if I find those questions. Right here. Alright, look at the screen. This is the questions. Alright. A breakdown of the taxpayer cost for his overseas trips and the economic returns from these missions. Since assuming portfolio responsibilities, how much has it cost Jamaican tax dollars for your foreign investment trips? Include costs from agencies under your portfolio as well as your agencies and staff involved in these missions. I think the IC needs to do some investigation, or the Auditor General needs to do some investigation as to how many money was spent in this industry for these trips. And I don't know, I don't want nobody in my comment section acting like they don't know that we've had so many examples around the world of government officials just wasting tax dollars. Didn't Aldi Shaw leave a phone bill or something that he didn't pay? Anyway, there's so much things we could talk about, but let's continue.
It cost Jamaican taxpayers for these foreign investment trips. He's also asking specific financial and economic benefits that accrue to the Jamaican people from these trips, specific policies, strategies implemented to stimulate exports. Yeah, what specific investments have Auburn Hill and his team attracted into the special economic zone regime that were, note this question, what are those investments that you've attracted that were not already in progress? So Tony Hylton says, don't include the things that you inherited. Talk about the things that you started from scratch. He's asking that of Auburn Hill, along with how many companies have exited the SEZ regime over the past 2 years, and data on improvements to trade deficits, market access, and the ministry's impact on the wider economy. In your statement as well, Tony Hylton, you made a point that caught my eye about the state of affairs with Jampro. You're asking if in effect Jampro has been subsumed into the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, or even a closer relationship than that, and whether the minister is effectively serving as the chief executive officer of Jampro. Why do you ask this question?
Well, when I was minister, my understanding of my role as minister was that the minister the minister is at home doing the work that will address those supply concerns, addressing the constraints on the economy, and then strategically making trips overseas. In fact, we had more investment seminar and conferences here in Jamaica than we did overseas, than trips taken overseas. So the focus, I believe, is wrong. And Jampro, the head of Jampro, that's her role. The head of Jampro and her team are really the effective officers who are making those promotional tours and to presenting. Otherwise, they're being underutilized. And the head of Jampro, to my knowledge, is a quite competent person and should be allowed to do their jobs. And so the minister leading every investment delegation everywhere is simply not an efficient, nor, as we see, an effective way of addressing and leading the ministry.
You know people, so the reason I said that this caught my eye was because I'm saying, well, the former minister is saying this. He would have inside information. There are people there who still serve.
Before we go to inside information, Jampro. So he's saying that Jampro is not being utilized properly. Interesting. You see the picture? You see what it is. This is about Jamaica Trade Information Portal, trade agreement. You know what I mean? Exporters and buyers. Like, yeah, this is the official site right here, baby. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Let's continue.
Who served him in the various various ministries, agencies, and departments under the broad ministry that would still be saying to him, well, this and that is happening. So are you saying that Minister Hill is muscling in on the Jumper CEO's territory to the extent that the effectiveness of the role is being blunted by this trampling in on territory that on space that he should not occupy? Is that what you're saying?
Of course, but it has nothing to do with. I have no day-to-day or even any discussion with the head of Jumper. I don't, because I don't think it's my role. All of this is from analysis and from observation that I'm making, and from my understanding and experience, having been the minister in that portfolio before.
Yeah.
So these are my observations.
Yeah.
These have nothing to do with communication or stories from within.
You would agree, though. You would agree.
So he was looking for inside job scoop or inside information scoop, but the man is saying, listen, I'm experienced. I know what it takes. I've done it before, and what I'm observing here from Mr. Albin, yeah, this is not gonna cut it. That's pretty much what he's saying.
Know that Tony Hylton, that in the post-COVID world, it is needful for a person in as powerful an office as the business ministry, we call it industry, investment, and commerce, for them to go out, to press flesh, to eyeball people, to start making the kind of contact and initiate the kind of discussions directly that will redound to business and economic benefit down the line. And you would agree that these deals cannot properly be forged via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whichever webinar app that is possible, that is popular. And you would agree that there is merit in bringing business people in your country, overseas, to meet directly people who they otherwise would not have the wherewithal to come into contact with. The minister would say, well, that's exactly what I have done, and the benefits will come. What is so wrong?
No, this man must be speaking for the minister. I told you this dude is a JLP apologist, you know. If you listen to how him frame that question a while ago, how can he speak for the minister? And didn't he hear the man say that he's had these meetings and seminars in Jamaica so people actually fly down to here? Why is Mr. Albin Hill taking so many trips? And if he's taking those trips and they're yielding the right type of profit, guess what? Hey, cool. Good job. But why is our economy the way it is, though? Why are we in a recession, though? It's just not adding up. See, I've been trying to tell y'all, man, I really low-key be believing that all of this that is happening in our country is being done on purpose. Somebody somewhere knows exactly what they're doing. And it's like a perfect storm type of vibe is coming. And a lot of us is we don't even understand how deep it is, and we're gonna get caught lacking. We're gonna get caught off guard in many different ways. But let's continue.
With those things.
Well, what is wrong with that is simply that.
Oh Lord, let him explain what is wrong with it.
That, as I've said before, the minister has work to do at home. The minister has to fix policies. He has to do legislation. He has to do a number of things that will support those ventures. And if the minister himself is doing all of that, where's the work being done to support those ventures? That's my question, because my observation is that all the agencies, and these are specialized agencies, JAMPRO and the different agencies, they have senior persons and they have persons in place who are competent. Otherwise, they should not be there. And if the minister puts them in place instead of someone else, then they need to be performing and overperforming. And so the minister should allow them to do their work while he balances it. And I take the point. Yes, ministers have to go and to support. That's a fact. The question, though, is what is the balance? And what is the strategic value? This just seems like a commonplace every day, up on the plane and go abroad and shake, press flesh. When in fact, those visits should be well prepared. They should be strategic, they should be well briefed. And as I said, you have to set goals and over time assess those goals. So it's not, these just can't be, you have a mind and you just simply said, okay, let's do this tomorrow. These things should be well planned, they should be strategized, and they should be well briefed.
Yeah, you've made an argument, not just now, in the...
Hey, me say, the man don't know how to deal with Mr. Hylton. Because Mr. Hylton is just talking about the facts. And the argument that he's making is so solid. Is like, how can you not agree with the man? These trips need to be strategic. You need to set clear goals. That means when I leave this trip, this is what I expect to gain from it. And if you don't gain what you expected from it, well, you need to do some type of evaluation on how you plan your next trip. Because if you keep planning these trips or going on these trips and we're not yielding the productivity from the trips, then you are hemorrhaging a part of our economy. A very large part of it as well. We're talking about the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. This is not no dibby ministry. You feel what I say? This plays some type of role in the economy. Come on, man. Y'all, this is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. I cannot believe this is what is going on in Jamaica. How many trips did this dude take? How much money is for them trips? I'm really interested to know what is going on with this thing now.
These observations about the ministry under Auburn Hill's leadership, but just broadly speaking about industry, investment and commerce, that look, where the trade imbalance is concerned, that is a problem. But I ask you, isn't it true that a trade deficit by itself does not communicate a definitive argument about the health of a country's economy, to the extent that you could not say that the fact that Jamaica has been running historical trade deficits means, for instance, that jobs are not being created, that the average output per person working in the industry is below optimal standards, that the trade deficit does not give an accurate view of the real state of play in the economy. Would you agree with that?
Well, to a point, but let me make this additional point. When it is as structural as it has been in Jamaica, you have to be concerned because this then has macroeconomic implications. Because this then ensures that one, the rate of growth that you want to see in an economy will not be achieved. And also there are vulnerabilities in the economy having regard to whether you get how you get the foreign exchange to fill the gap to pay for the deficits. So while this continues, there is the issue of the vulnerabilities. There is the matter of the rate of growth. And all of these you have to pay attention to. So whomever occupies that position must be making progress in a certain direction.
And on that point,
my criticism is simply that I'm not seeing the alignment of effort to get that.
And the last point I raised before we leave Tony Hylton is this. Auburn Hill raised in his newspaper article, he said, look, Anthony Hylton doesn't have the record sufficient for him to critique or criticize what I did, because his record as Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce is spotty at best. Therefore, I will take no lecture from Tony Hylton. I will answer no question posed by Tony Hylton. Your response to that?
No. Well, just to say, that's just nonsense. The record, I'd be happy to compare the records, and I invite the media to do that. To just compare the record. And let me hear it.
Yo, this man is not talking with any emotion whatsoever. And what that dude just said a while ago, you heard emotions all over it. And this dude, I've seen him I've seen him in Parliament, and I must say, he is emotional a tad bit, just a tad, not very overly, but just a tad. What he just said a while ago, I could see him saying something like that. Oh, you're not compared to me, so you can't talk to me. You know, an unhealthy type of arrogance. He has on a unhealthy type of arrogance, like for real.
Here's a point that I just want to have never responded to, either as minister or since I've left the ministry. But let me make this one point. What has been dubbed as crown and anchor or crown and anchor is nonsense. It really is a political mischief. It's nonsense. It doesn't have any bearing. The fact is, what was on the table was a proposal. So, if the proposal, what was done is that the proposal was undermined, perhaps by this in an effort to be transparent by disclosing the name. And what happens after that was just a circus. To the extent that the person will simply say, look, we're not interested anymore. We're just not interested, because what happened was just a circus of activities, people saying all kinds of things, calling them while they were here. It was just harassment. So no, that's just nonsense. And it was never a project. It was a proposal. And these are done every day, where proposals are made and we're given the time to germinate. So that's just nonsense. I mean, the big part of the logistic up fell on them, because when we left office, the World Bank report came subsequently.
Yeah.
It was approved by the cabinet subsequently. And that's what we put in train, and that's what they should be using
Yes.
as a post to implement the project.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time on this Friday evening, Anthony Hylton. All the best to you and your...
So, on a year where beside Hylton have to say, well, man, I tell you. So, I think, ladies and gentlemen, and this is just me. Hold on there.
Recent conference of the PNP. Often, we look on the platform and the people, we go to the television and squeeze up and look. And we say, Mr. President, Senator Allen, I looked in that tide, I couldn't find one drop of integrity.
So, this is the man that attacked Isaac Buchanan. And said he was looking on the stage and he couldn't find one drop of integrity. I wonder what he says when he looks at Andrew Honest. Yo, this is why I can't take this man seriously. When I heard him say this in Parliament, I'm like, wait, what? Bro, you got 8 people on your team. I don't know if that excludes you or it includes you, but you got 8 people on your team that is under investigation for illicit enrichment. And you're talking about Isaac Buchanan that did something years ago, changed his life, and now he's actually, uh, the man is actually a top lawyer. This is what upset them. See? This is what upsets them. This day right here. If you look at the flyer, when Vibes Cartel was up there, okay, you can feel how you want to feel about Vibes Cartel. That's fine. Um, but there's a lot of people in the JLP that name have been called up in some really weird things. All right, really weird things. So yeah, I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Yeah, these stuff is wild right there. Some of these cartoon things that they put up is wild. Uh-huh. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sorry I could share more, but I gotta go anyway because I got a premiere coming up at 9. Let me show you my schedule for today. For those that have not yet, you know, don't know what's going on. So I just did this video. That's a mother trying to promote her son. Y'all should check that out. All right, just did that. That came out. This one is right here. It's coming out 9 a.m. Yes, aromatic run out upon them. Alright. And then 11 a.m. Pastor Peter Chambers, man. Prophetic word. Is it possible that we're seeing the evidence of that prophetic word in a specific situation that happened? Says crime gone crazy, police versus police, question mark. Yeah. This one right here, everybody, I would love for everybody to watch this. This gave me a lot of spiritual value and perspective that I definitely needed. Um, just to look at, life and everything, man. And I know that y'all are gonna love it. And I don't want you to keep it to yourself, much like this video. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it live. Share it. Thank you, guys. And see you on the next one. It's your brother Bolo V&R, and I'm out until later on this evening. Peace.